Set. 4, 3, 1.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sunday Morning Quarterback. We are three pastors who love ministry, leadership, and sports. And man, it is a great day. Dad, I can't even get through the take without smiling. Why is it such a good day for us, Dad?
Well, number one, Christmas time is coming. Number two, how about them Cowboys? Adam, how about them Cowboys?
Adam is still licking his wounds. His teams are suffering. Adam, how you doing today down there from Richmond?
I'm doing great in the Lord.
Great, and Lord, man, I'm so excited. We got one of the OGs, High Point Christian repping today, my dear friend Austin Gentry, the singles pastor at 2nd Houston, coming all the way from H-Town. Austin, how you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm doing great. It is great to see you. And 12 years ago, we were hooping on the basketball court. Can't believe we're running a podcast right now.
Yes,
so honored to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Shout out HPCA, all the good people there. Well, fellas, Austin, I know one thing about you is you love ministry, but you love sports. So we're going to jump right into it. But since Adam's been having to eat so much crow, Adam, I'm going to start with you. What was your football reactions, college, pro? What stuck out to you, sir?
Such a big weekend. As far as what stood out to me, I would have to go so far as to say it looks to me like it's the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks also to me, Joe, like your Cincinnati Bengals are making their name known once again.
Yes, so he remembered.
It's a long football season, so.
Yes, it is.
Adam's got a new coach, though, so he got his Christmas present early. Coastal Carolina shared their coach with Liberty. But Austin, down there in H-Town, what stuck out to you this football weekend?
Man, I got to say, the things that stick out to me right now are not much because the two teams that I follow the most closely, the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans, or, just the Texans, they're just both at the very bottom barrel of the league. And I've kind of been somewhat tuned out because of how bad they are. So, I watched the highlights of Kansas City and Cincinnati. It looked like an awesome game. Big fan of Joe Burrow. I just like his game, the way that he kind of holds his team together. But yeah, my teams are suffering. They're not doing so well right now. And that's kind of what sticks out to me most, personally.
Man, you Carolina Thoroughbreds are really struggling this season. Dad, what stuck out to you? Give us some positivity, being one of the few people whose teams won.
I just told my wife last night, it feels good. Christmas is upon us. We had a good service, had a good Christmas service Saturday night. Dallas comes out and lays 50. And, it's just so nice. So I want to express that to Adam. So he, I know he can't feel it. So just feel my energy and feel my joy. It's so good. One day, if you come over to the Dallas Cowboys, like I know you want to, you can feel that too. Come on, before they get to the Super Bowl, Adam, come on over. One good thing with the Carolina Panthers, they did become better today because they got rid of somebody, Joseph. You know who they got rid of today?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. So, and then like Adam said, I've been keeping my eye on Cincinnati. I think Burrow is the second coming of Mr. Montana and Mr. Brady. Put them together, and this is what you have. You have Joe Cool. So I love his game. He's a tactician. People have been saying it all day. He puts the ball in the right spots. He's unflappable. And so I think they are going to be a tough out. And I really predict them to be back in the Super Bowl once again. Maybe, just maybe, playing America's team.
That'd be interesting. Hey, before I give my take, Adam's been betting cheeseburgers all season and he's been losing. But Adam, you know what type of burger is my favorite burger?
Lay it on.
A 50 burger, baby!
Oh, 50 burger!
Oh, we laid a 50 burger last night. Adam in the group chat was like, oh, y'all will win 38-10. He underestimated us. We laid a 50 burger, 33 points in the fourth quarter. That's more points than the Panthers have scored all season, but we won't go there. But no, it's in all seriousness. One thing that stuck out to me yesterday, so a few big games yesterday. Okay, Lamar Jackson got hurt, but the other big game was Jimmy G in San Francisco. Jimmy G's out, so the NFC is open and wide open. But here's another interesting thing. The Dolphins, they kind of got exposed. Yesterday was going to be a big day, and they got held in check all day. Tua had 2 picks, and so he's one of those guys where if it's not right on time and the first read's not there, he struggles. So that really showed how dominant that San Francisco defense is. But now that Jimmy G's out, we'll see.
Hey, speaking of throwing picks, Mr. Prescott was pretty loose with the ball last night. And I'm just wondering, if you're not playing a terrible team with a quarterback that needs to retire 3 years ago, do you think they're going to be okay if he does that in the playoffs?
No, we got to clean that up. It's always right before the half, too. Always right before the half. We didn't say we didn't say
so
we were
if you're
perfect.
playing a good team and they get up 20 on you, like the Eagles did.
Yeah, but hey,
that's okay. That's okay. We have one OBJ that's getting ready to join our team, which will provide another outlet for Mr. Prescott to find.
Yes.
So if you have the number 2 or 3 DB covering OBJ, I think we'll have receivers open. But let me just say this. I am very concerned with the Philadelphia Eagles. They put a whooping on the Titans, and the Titans are a pretty bad team. I mean, they're pretty tough. And so I am very concerned. I'm having fun today, but I'm definitely keeping my eye out on that team in Philadelphia. They're stacked, and they are fully loaded. So that's going to be one heck of a game once they play on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that didn't help us out any. Let's shift gears. Now we'll quit piling on Adam. Adam, we'll start with you. Then we'll jump Austin. College football, and I got a little critique last week. Somebody said, "Hey, y'all talk a lot of SEC. You got to give a little love to the Big Ten." Adam, what are your thoughts? The college football playoff is set. The games are in stone. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the committee got it right. I think there are arguments to have been made, perhaps with Alabama, Tennessee, but I think they got it right with the top 4. I was kind of anticipating them to put Ohio State at number 3 so they could play Michigan in the first round, because I don't see both of them winning and getting there. But you know what? I rarely ever say this about a team west of the Mississippi or north of Virginia. I would like to see Michigan win the Natty. I think, Georgia, they have really separated themselves above everyone really for the last, 15 months, it seems like. But I think it'll be a Michigan-Georgia Natty, and I'd like to see Jim Harbaugh do that.
That's good. Austin, what'd you think?
Yeah, I'll start off and say I think the committee got it right. I think it was the safest decision to make for there to not be an immense outcry. I will say, though, and I'm not here to support Alabama, but I do think if you say which one is better of the two, of Ohio State or Alabama, I think you still go with Alabama. Even with the 2 losses, coming down to the last play of both games, both losses combined for 4 points. The first one even being without Bryce Young, I don't know. I think that you can make a strong case if you're just trying to get the best 4 teams in there. I don't know. Ohio State got blown out by Michigan. Do you want to see that happen? It's like we already saw that game. Do we want to see it happen again? We don't need to. They're clearly the better team. So I think they did the right thing in terms of abating said controversy. But at the same time, I think you can make a strong argument the other way around too. So, but with that being said, I do agree with Adam. I think it'll be a Michigan-Georgia game. And I can't remember. I don't know if I saw this or not. I don't think they've ever played each other before. Is that right? Did y'all see anything about that?
That's interesting. I hadn't seen that.
That'd be crazy if so, yeah.
Or they've only played each other one time, which is interesting, just given how big those 2 schools are for powerhouses. So I think it'd be great for ratings. I think it's good. Big Ten versus SEC. It's not just the same old story every year. So I'm down with it. I like what happened.
No, I do too. But only thing, and I would love to see, Harbaugh, he stuck it out. A lot of people thought he should have been gone, and so he weathered the storm. But my only fear for Michigan is, man, their strength plays right into Georgia's strength. Is Michigan likes to run the ball and play defense, and man, that Georgia defense, they'd shut Tennessee down. And so they're going to play right. That run game going to play right into them. I just don't know if they got the guns. Dad, what do you think? What was your reaction?
I think they got it right. I think it's hard to give it to Alabama after 2 losses. Ohio State did. They got embarrassed in the second half of that game, but still one loss. TCU, they lost, but in the championship barely. So I think at the end of the day, a 1-loss Ohio State trumps Alabama. Do I think Alabama can beat Ohio State? I do. I think it'd be real close, but I think they would win. But it's really irrelevant because we all know who's going to be playing in the championship game, and I'm excited about these two teams, Michigan and Georgia, because both are head and shoulders in their league. It almost feels like, Big Ten, they're the big bad bullies now with Michigan. And then, of course, you have Georgia. So this is something that we've been watching gearing up really almost for 2 years. Michigan has been getting better and better in the last 2 years. It's going to be exciting to watch. I really believe that Michigan has a strong chance of winning that game. I think it's going to be close. I think now, but I will say this: if Georgia comes in firing on all cylinders, they will win. But we have seen Georgia not do that from time to time, and so I think it's going to be a great championship. I think Georgia will win, but I'm not. Maybe next week I may change my mind. So I'm not there 100% yet. There's something going on in Michigan, and they've got that feel where they could bring it on home.
Well, football season is slowly winding down, and for those of you who don't know, we were transplants when we lived in North Carolina. But for the people that are born and raised in North Carolina, it starts and ends with basketball. So, being that I got two thoroughbreds on here, and I'm a Carolina fan, but not like these two. Okay, like Cowboys have. Are my, you cut me open, you see Dallas. Now, if I'm rooting for college, I like Carolina, but these two, they live it, they eat it, they breathe it. So, gentlemen, when I wrote this question, it was on a more positive note, and then after I wrote the question, they lost. So, Austin, being a UNC Chapel Hill grad, explain it to me. We started off number one. I had high hopes, and then all of a sudden, I hear we're on a losing streak. What's the status? What do you see for Carolina going forward this year?
What do I see? That was, I think it's very uncertain. I have no idea. I think the talent is there. I think the coaching is there. I really think we made a great run at the end of the year. But mind you, we were still an 8 seed. So it's not like we were a powerhouse last year with all the same pieces that we have this year. We made a run, and I think they made the rankings based off of how well our run was and based on talent, which I think is fair, but I don't really think the number one rating was I don't know how I think it was proven based on the NCAA tournament, but it wasn't. And you need more substance to back up a number one ranking. So I think it was probably more fair if we started off top 10. And we've certainly underperformed from a top 10 level team. So I'm not there to say that we're the number one team in the country, nor should we have deserved to be. But I'm always biased. I always pick them to win it all every year in my bracket, naturally, because I'm delusional. But I think we have a good team. I think we have a lot of good talent, good coaching. I think we got to wait for the delusion of and maybe even the fairy tale, bracketology of last year to kind of wear off a little bit and be like, okay, like this is a new season. Last year didn't count, and we got to hold ourselves accountable. So I don't really know what's in store. We'll see.
Yep, Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, so about a month ago, the football team was 9-1. Drake May was a high.
Yeah, talk about that too.
And we had an outside shot at making the college football playoff, and
Right.
They lost 3 straight, and that ACC football championship was ugly. And now our men's team, who, as Austin said, was number one, we've lost 4 straight. And I think there's about 1,000 reasons the Tar Heels are struggling. I think, though, the main one is the offense must go through Armando Bacot, our big guy. And it's hard when you've got 4 or 5 guys on your roster who can fill it up and get 20 every night to just keep that at the forefront of your mind. But Caleb Love is an excellent talent, and Bacot's been banged up. So I think that's playing into it. And, these guys come in, it's either championship or nothing in their mind. And they may be riding the wave of last year and kind of being, their energy, their body language isn't what it was back in March last year or this year. So I think it's a lot of different things. But like you said, Austin, we've got the players, we've got the coach, we've got everything. Like, they'll get it on track. We'll see.
Yep, we'll see. Well, a lot of exciting stuff as football is as playoffs are near and basketball is heating up. And so now we're going to transition to the ministry and leadership segment of our
No,
podcast.
stop. I want to talk about something.
Oh
We
boy.
were texting. We were texting late last night about primetime Deion Sanders.
Oh, yep.
And I think most of America is just about to enjoy this ride that we're about to go on. And I'm locked into the Colorado Buffaloes. So we'll see. Just want to shout out primetime.
Shout out.
He was a Cowboy, but he was a lot of things.
He was, and man, if you watch his press conference, he was preaching, talking about knowing the Lord, and so that'll be super fun to watch.
Adam, you think he's going to turn it around in 1 year?
Yeah, I think they won 1 or 2 games this year. I think they're going to win 7 or 8 games next year because did you see that when he's meeting with just the players and he said, I'm bringing my luggage with me, meaning like I'm bringing my players in here. And what do you say, Louis?
Hit the portal. Yeah, I'm bringing my Louis.
And my luggage is Louis. So
and
he doesn't mess around. He doesn't waste time. And I like that. I think players like that.
And USC and UCLA are on their way out. And so he's thinking, okay, let me go to a 1-win school and bring it up to the top. And then
and here's another point, Adam. When he first went to Jackson State, it was all new to him. Now he's been through it. He's won the chip. And so he's got a level of expertise now. And so I think he's going to come in guns a-blazing. So people better watch out.
Yep.
That'll be sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, you're good. That was good. That was worth throwing in there. But we're going to transition to ministry and leadership, a little bit of backstory. Austin and I went to high school together. And Austin, I always knew you had just that, you were just different. You just had that imprint on you, whether it was just ministry or the Lord's calling on your life. And so it's been super cool to see kind of where you've landed and just knowing you and your heart. And so we always started off with 3 questions when we bring pastors on. If you would tell us a little bit about your background or your family and your church. Obviously, we picked up your sports bias, so we can skip that one. But then tell us if you've had any preaching or teaching blunders. So take it away, sir.
Yeah, we'll do. So a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in High Point, North Carolina. Went to the school and the church that were a ministry, or the school was a ministry of the church. So I was going to one campus my whole life for the first 18 years before I went to college, 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. So I spent more time on that campus between the church and the school than I did probably my own house or anywhere else. So it was an extremely formative place for me. Very thankful for that environment. Both my mom and my dad are strong believers. They dedicated me as a baby at the Baptist Church, Green Street Baptist Church. And from there, I was drugged to church on Sunday and Wednesday as much as possible. And I was put into a Christian school, K through 12. And so I'm really thankful for the investment they made in me and the foundations that they laid in my life. And it's been huge. I'm so thankful for that. And Lord willing, I'd like to do that with my family one day too. But yeah, so I came to faith at a pretty young age. I accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior at 8, the summer before 4th grade. And then, even though I believe that was a sincere coming to faith, something happened really in my life. The summer after my 7th grade, I went away with our youth group to Tennessee Super Summer in Clarksville, Tennessee at Austin Peay University. And there at that camp, I don't really know how else to describe it, but I guess it was just more of a reawakening or an accelerated time of regeneration or not regeneration, but of just spiritual growth. I don't know. The things of God just became way more real to me. I don't know. Things just seemed different. My view seemed different. Things felt clearer. My sense of God became more important, and the way that I saw myself just seemed different. And coming off that bus, my parents even said, when you got off that bus coming back home from camp, we just could tell something was different in you. We don't really know what it was, because I felt different, and I don't think I was saved in that moment. I just think there was some kind of difference that happened there, and I felt there. Really, I think the beginning of a call to ministry, and I didn't really know what that meant. I didn't really know what that looked like. In my head, I was thinking, well, I don't want to be a youth pastor. That just seems I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like me. I was like, I don't know if I want to be a senior pastor. What am I going to do all day? Like sit on a pew Monday through Friday? Like that just seems pretty boring, you know? And I had no concept of what ministry was or what that looked like in my own life or how I was going to fulfill that. But that sense just kind of always hovered around me ever since that moment. And it's kind of solidified more and more as I've grown in my walk with Christ. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just going through the Christian school, trying to be involved as many things as I possibly could. By the way, Joseph, were you in the praise band at one point?
I was, and
I remember that.
Yep, you were electric guitar player, and I was leading worship. You were a grade ahead of me, and Adam Austin. Before I actually went to a rival school, and Austin's middle school team beat us bad in the championship, so bad that I had to go join them the next year. And
That's right.
so
Like
we had a
Kevin
lot of
Durant.
we had a lot of crossover. But Austin, tell us too, for those out there, you're at Second Houston, which is probably one of the biggest churches in the country. Tell us a little bit about what you do there.
Yeah. So, right. Yeah. After college, went to seminary. After seminary, kind of did some regular marketing jobs for two fun brands, Cookout and Krispy Kreme. So
wow.
loved that. And then, yeah, and then from there, was in Charlotte, just kind of doing some pro bono work for young adult ministries in the area, just because churches in North Carolina don't, at least I'm not aware of any that have formal young adult ministries. And so several of my friends were just like, well, we feel passionate about reaching our demographic. We want to reach millennials. We want to reach people who they're in the church, but they're not married and they don't really feel like they have a place to serve or get to know or connect. And so we were just doing that on our own, which was great. We loved it. Took up a lot of time, but I was like, this is what I really feel passionate about. And this is where I really want to serve in the church. And through very weird connections, Second Baptist in Houston reached out. They got my number from someone at a church in Austin who I went to camp with at Tennessee Super Summer back in middle school. Crazy enough.
Wow.
And they connected me, and from there, obviously, I've been here now, or been at Second Baptist Church for 4 years, almost to the dot. So it's been a great experience. I serve as the young single adult pastor, so singles, really 18 to 34, 35, that that age range, and it's a fun ministry. It's a frustrating ministry. It's a flaky ministry. And it's extremely, extremely transient. But at the same time, it's a very fruitful ministry. And I believe that in that stage of your life, your faith really becomes your own. And you really build habits and values that you will carry with you into marriage and into really the rest of your life. And so being a part of that phase for young people as they come into the church, they come into their own faith, things become real to them. They're making their own money. They have their own time. They have their own choices that they're really making for themselves. And to walk beside them as they strive to go under the lordship of Christ and be involved in a local church is super. It's awesome. It's super encouraging to see. It's super helpful to the church to have a lot of young single people serve in many different capacities that married couples can't. And so it's just a really cool season of life that I'm privileged to pastor in right now.
That's awesome. We'll segue into our first question, kind of going along those lines. Also, I'll start with you, and then Dad, I'll hand it off. We can go around the horn. So there's a lot of talk these days about millennials and how do they prefer thinner preaching and shorter sermons or deeper teaching, or do they want to be challenged? Or a lot of churches are struggling finding a place for that 18 to 25, 18 to 30. Give us a little bit. You started to peel it back a little bit. Give us a little insight on how to connect with these people. How do they consume Christianity, and what's spiritual growth look like for them? What are they looking for?
Great question. So I think first and foremost, what they're looking for is community. More than anything else, they're looking for someone who they can connect with, because I think I say back in the day, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I think it was more normative for people to just show up to church by themselves and be okay with that. Now with the influx of the internet and podcasts and videos and YouTube and streaming, and just essentially, especially after COVID, making people way more comfortable than they should be at home, it's almost encouraged people to just do church by themselves and to just have their own relationship with the Lord. And so now if they're looking for something at a local church, it's probably the first thing is community and connection. they don't feel desperate enough to really dive all in, unless they are that desperate, which we're glad that people are. But I think most people are looking to connect first, and they're looking for people who they can have friendships with, because I think in the world that we live in now, everything has just become so digitalized and people feel so lonely. So I think connecting them to community first and foremost is the number one need for them. And I think that's also the best, like, Velcro, spiritual Velcro into all the other things of God. So that's what I think they're looking for first.
That's good. Dad, any thoughts or follow-up questions?
Yeah, I agree 100% with community. What I have learned is they're looking for true meaning, and the other thing I've learned is they like hard preaching. And it's not really hard; it's just truthful. They want to hear truth, and to be honest with you, I think that's every generation. But this generation, they really do look to have that community, that togetherness. The other thing that I've learned with this generation is their commitment level, the understanding and the description of commitment is definitely different than previous generations. And so, how can I say this? Uh, they may not be in church every Sunday, where previous generations' commitment level meant you're in church every Sunday. That's kind of scrapped. But when they are there, they want it to have some real value. So they're not going just to go and say, "Hey, I did it." They're looking to go and to have some real value, and then to contribute in some way. So it's not just community, but they really want to be a part and do something that brings some value to the things that they're doing. So that's some of the things that I've learned. And one of the last things I want to add is, especially for me and my generation, I think it's real important to be patient, because if not, you can demand what you believe is devotion and commitment because that's who you are, especially as somebody older. But because of the definition has changed a little bit, I think it's important to be patient and to be okay with changing a little bit of structure in order to help this generation to grow towards maturity. So if you've got to change a few things to help with that path towards maturity, it's okay to do it. And so that's one of the things that I've learned. I'll give you one quick example. We don't do small groups every week. We'll do it every couple weeks because my thing was more longevity. I didn't want to force people that weren't there yet to have small group weekly. So after 2 months, it fizzles out. And so what I did was I really gauged where they were, their interest, what they were doing in life, and then tried to match our programs to fit their lifestyle. And that has been a very much a success. Just taking it back, understanding this generation, understanding where they are, and then moving to them rather than forcing that generation to an older generation of what that commitment looks like. And that's really paid some great dividends.
That's good, Adam.
Yeah, so I just so happened to have coffee today with a 25-year-old guy that has been married for 2 years, no kids, extremely smart. He's a law student. And we were just talking about this very thing. He's at a church and, he gets the sense that the theology is not deep enough. So even though the sermons are heavy on application, it's almost though the application is being made outside of what the theology of what is being taught is. So he's been wrestling with that. And we were just having a good conversation about, it seems like there's a major trend and shift away from pragmatism, from doing what works and, doing whatever you can just to get people in. And I think what that points to, as Austin and Joe have said, you've already taken the words from me, is people want something that is truthful.
Mhm.
And particularly when you think about modernity and pluralism, there's a sense in which, even though we've moved so far in that direction, human beings are still human beings, and we naturally want to latch on to something that is transcendent. And so you're seeing kind of a return to smaller churches, more neighborhood community style churches. And, Austin touched on the need for that. So I think the truth is what people desperately want, even if they don't always know that that's what they need, as Joe mentioned.
One of the things I've this past year, I've helped out with 18 to 25-year-olds, and I think sometimes we lower the bar for them, and I think they want us to raise the bar. And I think a lot of them want to be, they've never really been challenged. They've never really been pushed. And I think part of a relationship building is, everybody talks about my space, my bubble. Like, a lot of people take the approach of, okay, they'll come to me when they want to find out. I think you got to flip it. I think you've got to go to them, because a lot of times they don't know what they don't know. And so you've got to be the one, once you build the relationship and the friendship, and they know that you care, then you can be a little bit more, hey man, have you ever thought about, maybe this is the reason you keep having the same relational rut? Or, hey man, like one of the things that Austin, we've talked a lot about, and maybe you can hit on this, is having somebody that doesn't have that desire, and you're trying to fan that flame and help create that desire and help, hey man, because of what Jesus did on the cross is why we go to church every Sunday, or why we commit our life to the sake of the gospel, or why, and help that desire that we have and imparting it to them. What are your thoughts on that?
I obviously it's each person is their own case, and they all have their own hesitations. They all have their own areas where they're like a little bit like standoffish, but they also want to be pulled in real close. And I think kind of really to echo all of you guys so far is that people want two things, and that is they want relationship and they want truth. And I think that's what Jesus gives us in John 1. He is grace and truth, the perfect embodiment of both. It's God meeting us where we're at, but also calling us up to where we ought to be. And, I think sometimes, churches will drive people away by just doing all truth, no relationship. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, you have churches who are application, and they're drawing people in with relationship, but they're pushing them away because these people are like, I want truth. I want depth. I want conviction. And having that happy medium is the ideal of where people feel known, but also they feel called up, but also at the same time, they don't feel like they're constantly being condemned. They know there's substance there with the relationships. And I think that's what pastoring is all about. I have a where is it? I have a little image of a shepherd on it's back there somewhere. But the shepherd, it's like this little wooden cutout of a shepherd, and he has a staff and a rod. And the staff, y'all pastors know this, I'm not telling y'all anything new. The staff is to hook the sheep gently out of places that it might not be to pull them close. The rod is also at times it is for the enemies of the sheep, but it's also to prod the sheep a little bit too if the staff isn't responding to them. And so Jesus, our good shepherd, uses both truth and grace perfectly. And as pastors, to really reach people, to really move the needle in their life spiritually, we've got to use both the staff and the rod as well. Mm-hmm. So,
and we've got to find a place for them in the church. A lot of times, they will buy in, but you got to have somewhere for them. You got to have a place for them, whether that's serving on the tech team or serving on the worship team or creating a spot for them. They've got to feel needed. And so much truth there, and such an age that a lot of churches are trying to figure out. So, fellas, we'll land the plane there. That was a lot of good meat. Austin, thank you for coming on today. Hope everybody has a great day. Adam, hope you have a better week next week, baby. See y'all later.